Yo, what's good, guys? My name's Nate. We just hit top 500 on stream playing nothing but Invisible Woman this season. Down on twitch.tv/Nate150k. Come check me out if you want to watch that gameplay. And I think now's the time we're going to make a top 500 tier list for season 1. Season 1's been very interesting. There's been a big switch up. Small changes, but really big switch up to the meta. A lot of triple support going around. I don't really think it's optimal, but that is what a lot of people are playing. Down below, as usual, we have timestamps for all the heroes. So if you just want to see your favorite character, you can go ahead and skip ahead and just see what we think of them. And let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the season so far and your character and what's going on. Adam Warlock. What's interesting about Adam is that he still has the issue of he doesn't heal a lot consistently, but I don't really think he's bad. I think his res is still a very solid mechanic. His soul bond is like still one of the best abilities in the game. Quick PSA to all Adam players, okay? I am so tired of seeing Adam players wait for the 5-man res and then we all die immediately afterwards anyway. Please stop saving your res ability, okay? I think the best Adams I've seen and I've played with in top 500 are the Adams that use their res when at most 1 or 2 people die. And then it's up for another like 9 seconds. So it's a very good way to like prevent snowballing from occurring if you ult early. I think that's like the only reason why some people are struggling with Adam in the current season is because we keep waiting for that res. And I like just pop it, you know, like even if before someone dies, it lasts for like 9 seconds. I think it's an awesome ability. So that aside, my personal gripes aside, he's still a really good character, so you're gonna have a lot of good time with him. I think he has a very solid niche in triple support where it comes to Mantis, Adam, Cloak and Dagger. I think that's a very solid composition there if like Luna is banned or something like that. Yeah, you know, solid pick, A tier. You guys are doing pretty well. Black Panther. You know what's funny about Black Panther is that the nerf I don't think was that substantial, like because like his overhealth went down a little bit, but I do see him less than I used to in season 1. Like I can't deny, I definitely see this guy a little bit less. And one thing that Necro said that I kind of agree with, for once, I actually agree with that guy, is that his kit is so buggy, right? Like, when you play this character, he has so many non-regs on his dashes, it's actually insane to think about. And the fact that he's still this good, and you get so many of your resets denied because the game just says so, is kind of insane to me. That being said, though, I think it's very important in this game currently to pressure supports a lot, and Black Panther's pretty good at doing that. I think Magik's a little better. We'll get to her later. In terms of melee DPS, I think he's fine. I'll still leave him in A tier. I really can't think of it's only bad to play him if like they have Loki, Luna, Dagger, and like it's just like constant AoE triple defensive support ult going around constantly. I think then Black Panther might struggle a bit to keep up. But other than that, I think he's a solid pick. You can definitely climb. I've seen plenty of top 500 Black Panthers playing still, so he's definitely always good, I think, for sure. Black Widow. God, please NetEase, please buff Widow. I swear to God. She is like, I don't know, man. Like, the buffs were nice, you know, more stamina, always good, right? Her kick range was increased, which is one big thing I wanted, is her kick got better, which is awesome. But outside of 1 or 2 Widow players, like ZZZ, like ZZ1, I think, is like one of them, like, this character just doesn't perform. I think the problem is, if I had to define like a graph for like how good she is, it's like at the beginning of the game, when there are no supports, when there are no like support ults going off, I think Widow's actually pretty good. Like early, I think she's like actually kind of a decent pick. Like in the dry stage of the game, when there are no ults going around, she's actually like a pretty decent pick. But the problem she has is as soon as ults start flying around, like support ults or otherwise, she can't keep up. Like there's too much healing going on. She can't one-shot anything, which is fine. Again, I don't want her to one-shot stuff. But at the end of the day, I feel like she really struggles to keep up with the fast-paced nature of this game. And I still think she needs some buffs. I love playing Widow. She's like my second most played character, but I only play her in quick play, and there's a reason for that. It's because it's so hard to win games with her, let alone like carry with her, you know? I think that's like the thing with all these like Widows that are like really good in top 500 is that they're playing the character just good enough to where it's not throwing, and then the rest of their team does really well. Like, you know, that I think that's like all that's really happening. TLDR, I'm sorry, Widow, you need to be buffed again. I really don't see any way you can play her in the current meta, like, and get consistently good results with her. Hulk, still S tier. His synergy with Iron Man still good. Actually, I'm bumping up here to pick her ban. He gets banned all the time because the problem is that as soon as Hulk is in the game completely changes. It becomes Hulk Iron Man. It's still, like, that synergy is still super good. They only nerfed Hulk's shield by like 50. So Hulk as a character got a little weaker, but the synergy didn't change at all. I think even without his shield, like, this guy's so impressive. He's hopping into your back line, he's beating the fuck out of them. He's hopping back into the front line, beating the fuck out of the tanks, and he's just a menace everywhere. He can knock people out of the air. I mean, this guy is a tank on steroids. He is a super good tank. Picker banned, definitely banned in like half of my lobbies for sure right now. Captain America, so he got a little buff. I'm seeing him a little bit more. It's so hard, like, Is he always good? No, I don't think so. I still think he might be on the niche but good side. I don't think I'm moving him that much, to be honest, from season 0. I think he's fine. He has good pressure for the backline, so it's always good to have Captain America to make them look at you. I think that's like the biggest thing. Is like it's like Wrecking Ball from Overwatch, where you are looking at this thing and trying to kill it, and he just won't die. And then by the time you like look back to your front line to like heal them, they've died because he's done his job. He's distracted you long enough. He's very annoying to play against, especially as a support player this season. This guy's very annoying. But to be honest, I can't rank him any higher than B tier. He just doesn't have like the high damage threat. You can still kind of like push him aside, ignore him for a minute. Healers can just out heal his abilities and all that good stuff. His ult is like fine, but it's really just for himself. I think it's kind of weird that like this Captain America character, he's all about like the team play, like his character, but a lot of players play him quite selfishly. Actually, like you just jump in and ult and you keep yourself alive, and that's like the big play. Is like I'm in their backline for a 30-second straight team. We should be able to win. That's kind of his whole gameplay. But I'll leave him in B tier, I think. He might go like bottom of B tier, to be honest, but we'll just leave him there for now. Cloak and Dagger, pick or ban. I don't know why they buffed him. They gave her a 4th dash. She was already kind of okay, I think, in season 0. I ranked her like S tier last time, like bottom of S tier. This character is in literally every single game. Cloak and Dagger is in every single game right now. She has like a 60% pick rate right now and like a 40% ban rate or some bullshit like that. It's crazy. It's pick or ban. Like her ult just denies so much space for so long. I think that's the big thing with all the supports right now is that they're not exactly like devastating, but because they last for so long, you kind of need these supports to like counter the other support ults just so you don't lose all this space, But anyway, Cloak and Dagger pick or ban right now. The buff was super insane, and you can play them pretty much every game if they're not banned. So Strange, I don't think Strange has changed that much. I see him slightly less. I'm seeing more Magneto just because of Cloak and Dagger. Magneto's actually a big counter to Cloak and Dagger, so he'll go a little bit lower on the S tier, but his nerf to his like AoE, like his E burst is like has AoE damage drop off now, or it's like stronger. I don't really notice it, to be honest. He's still able to one-shot pretty much anyone when he has a full charge burst, especially with Gamma synergy, which again is why Hulk is banned, is because this guy becomes a monster as well if you have Hulk on your team. Not much has changed. Strange is still S tier. He's still a super good pick. Really no reason to not pick him every game if you want to play Strange. Groot is a much better now. I've ranked him like A tier last time or something. He's definitely S tier for sure because Moon Knight got a very big buff. The Moon Knight Groot combo is really good. And even if you don't have a Moon Knight, he's a really good ult battery for your supports. And since there are a lot of supports being played right now, it's very viable to have a Groot on your team just because you get your support ults like every 30 seconds with this guy. Like you're taking a lot of damage, sure, but you're feeding your support ults like super quickly. So I think that's actually like quite valuable in and of itself. The ultimate is pretty solid too. Again, with the Moon Knight synergy, it's like fucking busted, but you don't always have a Moon Knight on your team, and he does have some limitations anyway, and we'll get to him later, but it's a solid ult, solid pick. Walls are very annoying to deal with. They can wall off heals. It's super valuable. This is a good, solid tank to play right now. Groot's very solid. Hawkeye. Okay, hot take, actual hot take. I think Hawkeye is worse than Widow right now. I'm not even kidding. I would rather see a Widow in my lobbies, in top 500 lobbies, than a Hawkeye. They gutted Hawkeye, bro. His character is so weak now. Like, I don't know what's happened. Like, he can still one-shot, right? But for some reason, it just doesn't feel like you get any like value out of this character. Like every time he's picked on my team, he just doesn't do anything, and it's just awful to see. Like, okay, if I'm being real, probably not actually below. Hawkeye is still, at least like, it's still not immediately trolling. You can at least you can literally one-shot people, but this character really fell off hard. Like those nerfs were severe, bro. I really think it's like hurting your chances of winning. I think he has a negative win rate right now. I'm not looking right now because I'm just doing it based off like what I feel and like what I've seen in the games that I've played in top 500. But yeah, I would not pick this character. I would refrain from doing so. Hela, it's kind of weird because Hela was good, still is good. She doesn't get banned as much though. She used to be picker banned. She isn't getting banned nearly as often, and I wonder if that's because Storm is so prevalent that you kind of need to keep the Hela open just to shut it down. But either way, like the 25 damage nerf or whatever she got is like very minor, very minor. Definitely at least A tier. I don't think she's S tier. Yeah, maybe she is S tier. Maybe she might be bottom S tier. She just still has really good damage. No damage fall off on her kit. I feel like they need to add damage fall off. It's kind of disgusting that she can still like like, you know, 2-tap people from across the map. But there are a lot of supports being played right now, and it's getting a little messy for Hela because her ult used to be like I'm gonna force support ults now, but now that there's 3 of them, you know, Hela ult kind of doesn't do a lot right now. I feel like it's one of the more underwhelming ults right now, especially because you can't contest the point with it. But she's not getting banned every lobby. She's only being banned like 1 in every 5 lobbies or something, and even then she's only being picked like 1 in every 5 games as well. But maybe top of A. I mean, she's definitely always good at least. I think she's a very solid pick. I would have a hard time arguing anything lower than that. So Iron Fist, boy, people love shitting on this guy even though he's unironically good. I think in the current meta, I will say it's probably a little harder to get value out of him. I don't know if he's always good, but he's definitely good. I don't really have any problem. Like when I see one on my team, like I just know this guy's gonna pop off, like, you know, because he knows what he's doing. He knows how to play the character. Like I think that goes to say with like all the characters in this game. Like I'm ranking everyone like as if they do play the character, you know, like that's like the point. A good Black Panther is always good. A good Groot is meta. A Strange is meta. A good Iron Fist is like kind of niche but good, if that makes sense. Like I think this character can perform. I think he has solid pressure in the back line or solid pressure in the front line. He's very adaptable to the situation, but I think his carrying potential is slightly nerfed just because there is so much healing in this game right now. And he, again, doesn't have a lot of burst in his kit. His shift does execute, which is nice, but I mean, how often are you gonna find 1 HP targets in a meta where a lot of people are healing all the time is like my only question. So he is not a bad character. That's all I'm gonna say. Is like everyone shits on Iron Fist. He's actually a good character. I think he's like actually quite in a quite good spot right now balance wise. Iron Man, I mean, you know what's weird is like he was A tier last season, and I just said that the Iron Man Hulk synergy is really good, but to be honest, I feel like he can't always be good, because if you don't have the Hulk synergy, like this character is still so hard to rank, because like without it, this guy falls off really hard, like below Iron Fist, I would say. But with the synergy, you know, he's like up here, you know? So maybe I just compromise and say he's like bottom of A tier. He can be played in a variety of situations with a Hulk. Without a Hulk, he's kind of like meh. He's kind of meh. The Iron Man ultimate is pretty good in this meta if you can land it. The problem is Invisible Woman's a pretty big counter because of the shields she can place. Invisible Woman's a super over-kitted character. She's really strong. So we'll get to her in a minute. But Iron Man's having trouble ulting in this meta, I think, because Invisible Woman just makes everyone invisible, and it's kind of hard to fucking aim when like half the map is covered in Cloak and Dagger ult and Loki Cloak and Dagger ult and fucking Invisible Woman ult and all that bullshit. So I'll just leave him bottom A tier. Like I think he's like definitely strong, but I think you could argue for like a B tier pick here potentially. Jeff, yikes. Oh god. I think Jeff is getting worse by the minute. I would really want to put him down here, to be honest. If I had to be honest, I'd want to put him down here, but he is a healer, so inherently he has a little bit more value. I have like not seen any Jeff players. If I'm being honest, I never see Jeff players nowadays. He just is like, his ult is so telegraphed. Everyone's getting so used to it. His healing output's pretty meh compared to like all these defensive ults. You really need defensive ults. If you're a support and you don't have an ult that like reses people or keeps us immortal, I feel like it's really hard to argue your case here. You're like, if you are a Jeff one trick and you love playing this character, you're okay, but it's like you're bottom of C tier. Like you're kind of hurting your chances, honestly. I feel like maybe this is a D tier pick, to be honest. No, you know what? No, I'm gonna stick to my guns. I think this is hurting your chances. I'm sorry, Jeff players. I can't. You guys are. It's too tough right now. I think. Like, if you don't have a support ult that keeps everyone alive, it's really hard. And your ultimate not only doesn't keep everyone alive, but it also has a wind up that's like a little bit too long, and you're gonna miss it like half the time anyway. Like, players are getting really good at like dodging it. So I'm gonna put him in D tier. Sorry, Jeff players. I think it's not quite your season. Loki. Okay, this guy is fucking gross, chat. I think Loki is actually, like, I think they need to nerf him, to be honest. The thing with Loki is that he gets his ult charge so fast. Like, he's getting ultimate 20% faster than every other support in the game. Like, I'm Invisible Woman, I'm popping off, getting like 80% charge to my ult, and I hear Loki, your powers are mine. Like, he gets it immediately. It's so insane how fast he gets his ultimate. So he is thriving right now in this like triple support. Again, I don't think it's meta. Like, I don't think triple support is literally the most awful thing to do, but a lot of people are playing it. So in your solo queue games in top 500, you're gonna get a lot of value out of Loki right now. He's a little bit trickier to play still, you know, same thing still applies, but he gets ult so fast. The fact that he's able to clone another support ult and like just basically double the duration of a defensive ult is nuts. And his gems are also super good right now. This is a very solid character. The only thing that's funny about him is that we'll get to it later, but like Bucky is actually like becoming played a lot more because we see a lot more Lokis, and Winter Soldier is actually a pretty solid like counter to Loki. But anyway, I think he's definitely a meta pick for sure. sure. Luna, probably pick or ban. Yeah, definitely Luna is like pick or ban pretty much every game. Still, they changed like what, she can't spam the toggle anymore, which is low-key a buff because everyone was doing it and it wasn't optimal. I actually think like the toggle trick in season 0 was troll. People would do it when we needed full heals and it cut our heals in half and it was like just not worth it. But yeah, this character still heals like a ridiculous amount. Her ultimate lasts for so long. Same story, pick or ban every time. She is super, super, super good. The team up with Namor is disgusting now because they buffed it. So looking for Namor Luna is just like, it's just so gross. A pick or ban for sure. Not much else to say there. Magik. I think Magik is the best melee character in the game. I think she got that buff she got. It's only a little bit of a buff. When she ults, her dash does like more damage now. It's like 20 more damage or something. This character is always good. I think she's the definition of always good. She has insane frontline pressure. Her dive is very strong. She has a lot of get in, get out cards. She has a very good overhealth. She's a very healthy character when she dives in, especially with her ultimate. Her ult is such like a team. Like if it's so weird because a lot of players don't want to counter ult the magical. You know, I think that's like what's tricky about her is like, oh, it's magical. You know, like surely we don't have to pop like, you know, invisible when ult for this. But you kind of have to. Like, if the match player knows what they're doing, they're going to dive in with 400 overhealth and swing in and, like, you know, delete your backline. And there's not enough healing in the game right now, like without ults, to get this character off of you. And Invisible Woman has her push. There's a lot of things that characters can do, but Mantis isn't being played as much right now because of, like, the perceived triple support meta. Mantis is kind of like an afterthought in that triple support meta. So Magik is able to run a lot more freely, and the push doesn't do a lot because her dash is so insane. It goes so far, and she has a bunch of them. Definitely a solid A-tier pick. I don't think she's meta. I think there are some comps where it might be a little bit tough to run her, but yeah, I think top of A tier for sure. Magneto, this is probably the best tank in the game right now. Only because it's so funny because the Magneto ult tech to delete Cloak and Dagger in the middle of their ult, that's like what's happening right now. Like this character is meta because we see Cloak and Dagger every single game. And because we see her every single game, we see a Magneto and Magneto just deletes them with their ult. I think that's like the biggest reason we're seeing Magneto a bunch right now. Other than that, like his kid's really solid again. They didn't change much. His team up with Scarlet Witch was buffed. Doesn't really matter because you don't really see Scarlet Witch ever still. But like I said, because Cloak and Dagger is being seen so often in top 500 elo, you're gonna see a lot of Magneto just try to delete them and try to counter it a lot. Solid tank, best tank in the game right now, I think. Even especially for solo tanking, like that's a very good solo tank. Mantis. So Mantis is interesting because it's not anyone's first pick right now when it comes to supports, but you can't deny she's still good. It's kind of, I just don't see her nearly as often. She's definitely not getting banned anymore. It's kind of crazy that like the running speed nerf came in. I think that's the only thing they changed, right? Was like her nerf to the movement speed. And I don't see this character nearly as much, but she's still good. I think, like I said before with Adam, I think the optimal like niche composition with her is you run triple support, you run the Adam, the Mantis, and then you run like a major healer like Cloak and Dagger or Luna or Invisible Woman. Like you run like one of those 3 big healers, and then you run these 2 like off healers, and then that's like super, super viable. Her ult's good. It's not the best defensive ult in the game right now, especially because of the addition of Invisible Woman. It was just another like immortality field basically. Her ult's like fine. It definitely stops like a couple ults. It'll stop like Strange ult. It'll be like really good for like a couple different ultimates, but again, it's just a bit of an afterthought. You kind of want to team up with other characters, like I said, with the Adam synergy, make sure this character gets the most out of their gameplay. Also, by the way, Mantis players, if I see one of y'all fucking on the flank 1v1ing a DPS again, I swear to God, man, I think that's like the only reason her win rate might drop a little bit is because y'all are just fucking crazy. You guys are out there fucking fighting other DPS like crazy. It's so funny to watch. Even in top 500 elo, which I think is hilarious. But yeah, solid A-tier pick. There's no, I'm just gonna put him slightly below Adam, I think. Is that a hot take? That might be a hot take. Slightly below Adam? No, slightly above, I think. I think of the Mantis Adam combo, I think Mantis is the more valuable one just because her ult prevents you from dying in the first place. And the res is like a nice like backup, basically. Moon Knight, his buffs were insane. I think he's now a meta DPS character for sure. The ultimate Unk combo, like you throw the Unk down and you ult right on top of the same area, it does so much burst damage. It's fucking ridiculous. I mean, it can also go through defensive ults like Invisible Woman's ult, like Luna ult. If Groot is with you as well, like Groot Moon Knight is just like the freest combo right now in solo queue. It's very disgusting. It's very strong. If you're a Moon Knight player, you know, ups on you, man. You know, shoot that Unk, get that LP. But other than that, there's not much else to say. He's just really, really, really strong. Do I put him above Loki? No. I think supports are just, I think just by function, like supports and tanks have to be higher than duelists because there are a lot more duelists in this game and there are fewer supports and these characters are more impactful, I would say. S tier though, he's definitely meta. Namor, dude, why did they buff his fucking synergy with Luna? I I don't understand. He was already so good. Is he meta? Yeah, I think he is. I put him just below Moon Knight. His turrets have insane range, do a decent amount of damage, are just an annoyance to deal with at all times. He has a bunch of them up all the time. The buff to the Luna synergy makes him like even better. Like the slow is so ridiculous with this character with the slow turrets. Good damage output. I've just remembered his ultimate is actually insane. A super big counter to Invisible Woman is Namor, right? The canon matchup there, because it disables all the movement abilities. When you ult on someone's forehead, they don't have any movement abilities. They can't dash away. They can't like jump away. The Invisible Woman can't jump away. And the center one-shots like all the squishies in the game. So in a meta right now where there's a bunch of supports in the game, this character is super good, especially with a Groot. You can just team up and get a one-shot combo going on through all the support ults. It's very good. I'm only playing him slightly below Moon Knight because Moon Knight just gets ults so fast in this meta, and it's also like I think his ultimate is just like, it just does more damage. It's easier to hit because it's the whole AoE area is like more confirmed to get more kills. Whereas Namor, the very center has to hit, and that can be blocked, and there's a lot of like, there's a more counterplay to it. But yeah, definitely a meta character. Peni Parker. Okay, so in my last tier list video, I made Peni players a little bit upset because I ranked her a little bit too low. I put her in C tier because I thought she was, you know, niche, but you could still win with her. I'm not gonna lie, my opinions haven't changed that much. Maybe I'll put her at the bottom of B tier just because I feel like it's a little unfair. I don't get upset when I see a Peni, but I fail to see the Peni angle. I think that's the problem I have right now, is like, maybe Peni players can help me out here, but like, when you see an enemy comp, like what part of the comp is like, that's the Peni angle? Like, okay, that, like, I can counter Iron Man or whatever. Like, you know, it's like, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I heard like some people told me it counters Wolverine, and some people say it doesn't counter Wolverine. And, you know, some Wolverine players say that I'm good into Peni, and Peni players say I'm good into Wolverine. There's a lot of like conflicting statements I'm getting here, but long story short, I don't really see her that often. In fact, I actually see Cap more than Peni at this elo. I think Cap is a little bit easier to play, get some value out of, because at least with Cap, you're just kind of running around doing whatever and buying everyone's time. And I think this guy is still a little bit slept on. With Peni, I just don't really see the angle. You definitely can't solo tank as Peni, I don't think, in top 500. Again, there's a couple of top 500 Peni one tricks, probably. I think one's like a cringe alarm or something is one of them. I've been seeing some of their videos up. I don't watch them, but I'm sure, you know, he's popping off or whatever. I'm just gonna put him at the bottom B. I'm gonna put them at the bottom B tier. I don't really see a strong composition with her. I don't see the Peni angle. I'm sorry, Peni players. You've bullied me to put them above C tier. All right, C tier maybe was too low. I'll accept low B tier, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't really see her that much. Also, she got like a couple bug fixes just now, so maybe that might help her a little bit. There was something with like terrain that the bugs got fixed with, so maybe she has more viability this season, but it's hard to say. I just don't see her that often. Psylocke, definitely at least A tier for sure. Her ultimate is still really good. It still forces out other ults. It's a little bit tougher to run her now because there's just so much healing in this game that even Psylocke is kind of struggling to keep up a little bit. You kind of need more one-shots in your kit, and she doesn't have, like, she does have a one-shot combo kind of if someone's standing completely still and not receiving any heals, but in practice, you know, everyone's running around. You're not going to be in the perfect spot all the time. It's going to be a little bit tricky in practice to get it all off, but I would put her, I think solid top of A tier for sure, above Magik, because I think you can run Psylocke in even more compositions than Magik. Again, solid ultimate, very good damage, a lot of like self-peel, a lot of self-care with her invisibility and her double dash. You know, she's able to like get around the map on her own. She doesn't need to be pocketed to do her bullshit. She just doesn't have a one-shot really. Her ult is great, but it's not, you know, it's not like Namor or Moon Knight. You know, it's much better to like, it catches them off guard. It catches the enemy off guard, and you can get like a pick or two. Fun fact, by the way, Invisible Woman can go invisible in her ult, and Psylocke can't hit her. So if Invisible Woman goes invisible right as Psylocke is ulting, Psylocke will not hit Invisible Woman, and even though she's standing right in the ult, and I think that's a very interesting interaction. So I'll just put her top of A tier because again, very solid character. Not much has changed, to be honest with her. So Punisher, I think he's fallen off a little bit. There's just like, I mean, I don't know, like he's fine. I think he's just like a solid soldier of the game. You know, you're just spamming at head level, he still does good damage. His ultimate can still shred through like one or two of the support ults in the game. If you're like aiming at head level and your tracking is really good, you have like above 50% accuracy on this character while you're using your ult, I think it's gonna be pretty solid. You probably need a little bit higher accuracy. 50% is like, okay, maybe you need to be a little bit higher than that, but like for the ultimate anyway. But you can still get good results with this character. This is definitely not like, this is definitely like always a decent pick, I would say. He just might struggle to like really giga carry. He's not meta, you know, so, but he's always good for sure. Not much else to say, to be honest. Punisher is pretty good. Okay, Rocket, Raccoon, you Rocket players, bro. look, listen, okay, I get it. He is good, okay? Like, okay, I don't even know if I can say that, to be honest. He is fine, all right? He doesn't suck ass, but man, does that amplifier do fucking nothing, bro. I'm sorry. Every time I hear, hey, Deeb, enjoy the amplifier, it just doesn't do anything. I just, like, 40% damage boost, I swear to God, it's not even on. Like, I don't even notice it half the time. It's just one of these things where if you don't have a defensive ult, it's really hard. And I know, look, okay, I don't want to give him too much hate because I know Rocket players right now are under fire, okay? I know you guys are under everyone's crosshair, okay? We all want you guys dead. Not really, but like the problem is I can't rank this guy much higher than A because when the enemy team has triple support and they have 3 defensive ults and you don't, you're just down. Like you're just down a support ult, you know? The synergy with like Punisher and Bucky is like pretty good. Like infinite ammo is always nice, right? But like, man, it doesn't matter if you have infinite ammo if like they have an invisible woman that just ults through it, you know? And then after that, they have a Cloak and Dagger ult. And then after that, they have a Luna ult. You know, like what's the 40% damage boost gonna do, man? You know what I mean? The healing output buff was nice. So like, I can't say that like this character is trolling. The reason why I'm not putting him in niche is because he isn't. He's not really niche. Like people play him all the time. I'm gonna put him at the top of B tier just because he's like actually always played. But like, man, it's just like, you guys gotta understand what's going on, right? Like these defensive ults are just too good right now. And to have a damage boost that doesn't even like guarantee like one shots for a lot of the characters is like kind of tragic, to be honest. So the res beacon's good. Let's talk about the positives, right? You're a little bit harder to kill than other supports, okay? The res beacon's good. Your healing orb is pretty consistent, so that's nice, right? Like you are able to get ult very quickly, and everyone on your team is a little bit tankier, right? Because you're always healing them constantly, right? I'm assuming you're always healing them, right? You're holding right click. Well, surely we're not holding left click ever, right? I saw that video that Burger made where like there was this guy that played Rocket and got to like Grandmaster not doing any damage. I think that's hilarious, but also true. Like you don't have to do damage right now as Rocket. Healing is just more than enough. I think top of B tier, I would rather not see a Rocket in my games, but I can't deny I have one with Rockets, so it can't actually be bad, but like, man, do we feel the one less support ult? That's all I'll say for now. You Rocket players, look, good luck. All right, I hope you guys don't get too much hate for the rest of the season. Maybe they'll like tone down the other supports so you guys can like not get hate. Scarlet Witch, you know, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think she's that bad. I think Scarlet Witch is actually like a little bit niche now. I think her damage buffs were pretty good. The only problem is her ult is still fucking awful. It's probably the worst ult in the game. Like, at least Widow's ult actually allows you to like follow up on your own kills. At least Jeff ult, you can still like get a cheese suicide pick or two. This ult does nothing in any elo, like above diamond. Like this thing never pops off. I swear to God, I never see Scarlet Witch ults do anything. That aside though, like her kit's actually kind of solid. I think she's a solidly annoying DPS character to deal with. I'll just say it. I know she's like quote unquote easy, but like the thing is that if you're playing, I've seen a few Scarlet Lords in top 500, and it takes a certain amount of skill to play a character that is quote unquote easy in top 500 because like, you know, you have to find a way to like play this character in a way that is like hard to deal with, and the character doesn't give you a lot to work with, you know what I mean? Anyway, that being said, I'm ranting a little bit here. I think she's actually kind of niche. She'll be definitely bottom of C tier for sure. Actually, I don't know. I see Spider-Man. I don't know. Spider-Man is like, I'm not a fan, to be honest, but I think she's actually kind of a niche pick. The buffs were pretty substantial, but it's still really hard to get any value with her, to be honest, in top 500 solo queue. Good luck to you Scarlet players. I think it's okay, like, but you just like, don't expect wins playing Scarlet is like what I have to say, but I don't think it's actually that troll. So I'll leave that there. Spider-Man, now this character is like the fucking Joker of the roster. And what I mean by that is like, you just don't know what this guy's gonna do, man. Either he's the best Spider-Man you've ever played with and he's duoed with a Venom one trick and these two are going ham, or you're getting Burger Man, you know, for your like first time ever Spider-Man, even though he has Lord for some reason, he's like 0-8. Same problems he had last season. His like cooldown rotation is too long. It takes too long for him to set up, and it takes too long for him to go back in. And he's also pretty easy to kill when he's diving in. These Spider-Man players have to get so creative just to like get any value out of this character. And even then, it's like you can't one-shot anything, you know? It's like so hard to delete a character. You're doing all this work to like dive in, get a kill, get out, and you don't even get the kill. You know, you're diving in, doing all your combo bullshit, and you try to get out, and like they're full health again. You know, like if any of the supports have hands or like are reacting to you at all, this character doesn't do anything on their own. With Venom, the Venom Spider-Man synergy is actually pretty good. I actually think Venom is slept on. I think he's actually a pretty surprisingly decent tank right now. The Venom buffs were actually kind of nice for him. But anyway, talking about Spider-Man, I think he's actually, I would rather see a Scarlet Witch than Spider-Man on my team, because at least I know Scarlet Witch is going to be consistently doing damage, whereas like Spider-Man's might be AFK for like half the round, like trying trying to find an angle, and they just never find one. Sorry, Peter. You might need a little bit of help in the next couple patches, hopefully soon. Squirrel Girl, actually very good. Squirrel Girl is unironically a very good DPS, like up there with Hela. Not even gonna lie, that buff to her ult is exactly what she needed. It's like I said in my last video, in the last tier list video, her ult didn't do anything. It was pretty weak. It would fall off the map and not do any damage. Now it actively targets enemies when it bounces off walls, and this thing deletes people at choke points, especially squishies. Even through support ults, that's the thing, is that like some of the support ults in this game are really good, right? But Squirrel Girl with her ult in certain chokes actually like melts through them, and it's like that doesn't come up that often, but it is enough to notice, and that alone puts her in like a solid A tier. I mean, she's like actually always good. Very, very high damage. Her ult got buffed, and it's really good. Squirrel Girl players, rejoice. You guys are eating up today. Star-Lord, I think he's about the same as where he was. I think I put him in meta last time in season 1. I think he's top of A tier, probably. I don't know if he's meta, because he's a bit more on the skill side of characters in terms of like the average value you get out of your Star-Lords varies widely, is what I'm trying to say. Like every Namor, every Moon Knight is roughly gonna perform about the same. You know, they're always good. They're shooting unks, and you know, you got your squids out, and he's chucking a head level. Star-Lord is kind of hit or miss, I think, but he's definitely always good. He can get shut down pretty hard if he doesn't get any help, but if you have like an invisible one on your team and placing up the shield for him constantly, like I do in my solo queue games, it's very easy to get a lot of value out of Star-Lord if he gets help from his team. But it's also very easy to shut him down at the same time. So that's why I'm gonna leave him top of A tier, because it's not like he's always good. It's not like he's like meta, but he's always a good pick. I think the top of A tier. He's doing really well right now. Storm, man, oh man, what a buff! What a fucking buff Storm got. I mean, she is just disgusting right now. Is she like the top of God ban, like God tier picker ban? It's pretty close. It's pretty close. It's between these two, to be honest. I think Cloak and Dagger are picked more often, but Storm is banned like every game. These two are like, you know, I'm gonna leave Cloak and Dagger up here just because they're played in like 60% of the games, and Storm is only played in like 50% of the games or whatever. But Storm buffs were nuts. She is broken, insane, super strong. She gets her ult so fast. She does a lot of damage. She is a force to be reckoned with. She actually gets ult like faster than some of the supports in this game. Like the way it works is what I feel like is it starts off round 1, and Storm and Invisible Woman, for example, get ult at the same time, and they counter it. And then Storm will get her ult like 10% sooner than Invisible Woman gets her second ult. And so Storm ults again, and you're like, well, I don't have my support ult this time, you know? She gets ult very quickly. And I think that's like the biggest thing with her right now, is that she does a lot of damage, and her ult is I force support ults out. And in a game where there are a lot of supports ults going around right now, this is kind of an invaluable character. So pick her ban for sure. Insane buffs. She will probably need to be tweaked down just a little bit, to be honest. Gone are the days where she was a niche pick and everyone slept on her. Now she is the queen that she deserves to be. Thor is fine. He got a decent buff with his ultimate where he can't be CC'd anymore. He's seen in a decent amount of gameplay, to be honest. With Cap as well, it's a pretty good combo still, but I don't think he's like anything crazy right now. I think he's just like a good pick overall. Would I put him above Iron Fist? Yeah, I think maybe I put him above Iron Fist. You know, it's kind of tough. Is Thor better than that? Nah, it's kind of hard to say. Like, it's kind of hard to rank these tanks so low. Maybe I'm putting Iron Fist a little bit too high, but I'll put Thor just above Captain America. His damage output's pretty, like, now that we're seeing him more because of the buffs, his damage is pretty good. Like, this guy's kind of threatening to deal with. When he presses his F key and he starts throwing his shit at you, it's pretty disgusting, but not much has changed, to be honest, about him. I think he's still, like, a niche pick, but he's on the good side. I don't really have much else to say about him. He's, like, fine. But he's a decent synergy with Captain America. That makes him, like, even more annoying. So, Venom. I think Venom is sleeper. I think he's actually kind of good, and with Spider-Man, this duo is pretty good. I think it's always been good, but I think the Venom buffs made this combo a little bit better, a little bit nasty. His ult does more damage now. I think they increased the base damage and the percentage damage a little bit, if I remember correctly, and he is just an impossible thing to kill. You know, he is such a big disruptor, which I think is very important in this meta right now, where a lot of supports are being played. You need to distract them or get them to heal each other so that their front line falls over, or you full commit to the I think that's the thing, is like, I don't think you can fully commit to the dive right now. I think the problem with the dive characters is that if you all dive, what ends up happening is that everyone just balls up and the triple support like reigns supreme. Like you can't out heal them if they're all on a ball. But if you do like half dive, half front line, I I think that's where this is starting to shine. Like, Venom dives in with Spider-Man, like, those two go on a rampage on their own, and then the front line, you know, you have like a second attack where the front line is like doing their work to like chip away at the tanks, and their tanks aren't getting healed as much because the back line is getting harassed a bunch. I think that's like the secret sauce, if you will, to this kind of composition, to like the semi-dive, is you have like 1 or 2 divers max, and then you have like a 4-man group like push the front line. And I think Venom's actually a very solid pick here. He doesn't get played as much as Rocket, so maybe I'll put him like down here. But no, I don't know. I'm more impressed when I see Venoms, to be honest. I look forward to seeing them on my team. So Venom players, you know, get creative out there. You know, I think he has a very solid like diving potential out of all the other dive characters in this game. Bucky, Winter Soldier, is I think pretty good. He was like top of B last time. I actually think he's played a good amount. I might put him above Punisher, to be honest, only because we see Loki so much more nowadays, and I think we're seeing Winter Soldier to like help counter with the Loki, because he gets his ult reset off the clones, which is kind of ridiculous. I don't really know if that's how that should work, to be honest. I hate Loki, right? Like, you know, I want that guy nerfed, but seeing Winter Soldier reset off clones feels a little silly. Either way, it's kind of weird, because you would think in a meta where everyone's healing all the time, he wouldn't be able to do anything, but Winter Soldier players are just kind of getting really good at bursting. The buffs that he received are make him kind of a mini tank, to be honest. He has a good amount of survivability on his own. His headshots do nasty damage, and comboed with his ultimate, he's almost able to secure a kill on his own with his ultimate when he ult headshots. Like, it's pretty insane once you get down to it. I don't think I'm gonna rate him much higher than this, to be honest, because these characters are kind of just like, there's no question that they can be good. I think sometimes he can still struggle to keep up. Like, there are some games where, you know, Invisible Woman's shielding too often, there's too much pushing going around, there's too much harassment on Winter Soldier for him to like make any solid plays. I think there's enough in the game to shut him down, but when he's not shut down, when he's not being focused or anything like that, this is a solid character that can run a literal rampage with his ultimate. So solid A tier pick for sure. Wolverine, why did he get buffed? The world will never know. He gets banned a lot, to be honest. He's not picker banned though. His ult is just so gross, man. Like, even if you don't have a lot of tanks, right? Like, sometimes people are running like solo tank, 2 DPS, 3 supports. His ult just fucking shreds through all of it. Like, he doesn't care at all. Like, this guy does so much fucking damage. It's so nuts. He still shuts down tanks super hard. He's just stronger than he used to be honest. Is he, like, it's kind of hard to say he's meta, because there are enough comps in the game where it might be hard to play him. But no, I'm gonna leave him bottom S tier. His burst damage is too high with his ultimate. It's actually kind of disgusting. He gets banned in like a bunch of lobbies anyway in top 500, so I think this is a solid place for him. He's not picker banned, but he is definitely like a meta pick. He's always good. He does get bullied by Invisible Woman a bit, because Invisible Woman's pull like pulls Wolverine out of his like leap. So like he'll like try to leap someone into their team, and then Invisible Woman pulls him, and it makes them drop the character, and it's like pretty tough for him. I love seeing Wolverine players suffer. I hate that guy, but he is definitely super good right now. Reed Richards, dude, what a goofy fucking character. I think he needs help, to be honest. I think he's kind of really weak. Some players are able to make him work, and I think like he can be a decent addition to the front line if you need it. Or maybe we don't need a tank, but we need some more damage in the front line, just a little bit. You know, he's an interesting character to play for sure, but I just don't see any results with him. I think the only time I've won with Reed Richards in top 500 is the enemy team also won Reed Richards and they mirrored. Every time outside of that, I feel like this guy just doesn't do a lot. I don't know, like his ultimate's like funny, but I think it's like really easy to punish him for it. Like he doesn't have any like overhealth when he ults, and he's CC immune, which is nice, but like it doesn't do that much damage either. You can just kind of heal through it. You don't even need to ult it. Like a lot of supports in the game right now, like don't even need to ult to counter Reed Richards ult. They just fucking power through with their base healing and their kit. And I think that's like kind of sad to see, to be honest. His ult should be a little bit stronger. And his pull, he has like his pull ability that he like hits you and grabs you and pulls you or whatever. It's not like that impactful. I feel like the pull is like barely there. Invisible Woman's pull is way better, which we'll get to in a second. Of the two Fantastic Four characters right now, Reed Richards is definitely not the strongest of the two, for sure. Do I want to put him in D tier? Maybe that's a little too harsh, to be honest, but let's just put him like here, maybe above Scarlet. I think more people are willing to play Reed Richards than Scarlet Witch. No, I'm gonna stick to my guns. I would rather see Scarlet Witch too. I think Reed needs a little bit of help, to be honest. I think he needs a slight buff. I think he's a little too weak. Invisible Woman. I one-tricked her all the way up to top 500 this season, so definitely good, definitely meta. I'm gonna put her like above Loki, because Loki kind of needs an Invisible Woman to clone for him to be really good, so we're gonna put him there. She doesn't get banned too often, but it's definitely like, the problem is like if you don't ban Cloak and Dagger or Luna or Storm, like these four just need to be banned like constantly, you know what I mean? Like these four characters need to be kept in check like almost every game. So banning Invisible Woman just isn't really viable, because if you let these guys through, it's just like the game becomes a complete mess. So yeah, this character is overkitted, like in the best way. She has her pull, she has her push, she has her anti-fly with her shift, she has her invisibility, her passive that heals her while she's invisible, she has her jump, which is awesome, she has her ult, which is just an immortality field that basically no one can die in, and it makes everyone invisible and it slows enemies, and it's just, this character is insane. She has a shield. I'm not even done listing all of her abilities yet. She has a shield. It's nuts. This character is super, 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 super good. Probably, like I said, she would be the best support in the game if it weren't for these two being like just pick her ban every time, but you can get so much mileage out of her. Like, she is so strong right now. Counters Wolverine a little bit, counters some of the flying characters a bit with her shift. It's a little bit tricky to land the shift on the flying characters, but it's still really fun to do. So yeah, I think that's it for the tier list. I'm just looking through everything now just to make sure everything looks pretty good. This season's very interesting because, again, we're seeing a lot of supports. We're seeing a lot of triple support. I really don't think it's the most optimal thing to do, but it is what people are playing. So if you're a support player, you know, you're eating up this season, I guess, is like the big takeaway here. If you're a Magneto player, you're definitely eating up just deleting Cloak and Daggers. You know, that's always a good thing to see. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think below. All the stream, if you guys want to see some gameplay, like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out a lot. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And hope you guys have a good day. Thank you again to all my lovely patrons. Alton Praise, Bastion Saber, Basket of Clementines, Blue Bomber, Prism, Curse of Dragons, Side Chance, Dragonbjorn, Flint Hero, FYI, Garchomp, Garridan, Goblin Slayer, Gold, HTTP Sam _com, Hugh, Harold, Morgan, Nate's Basement Yordle, Nico Moding, Nutty, Roy, Seaman, Simply Pirate, Smite video coming next Tuesday, Sunny, Taco, Unseen Blade, Violet, and Waffles. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good one.